Let's get to it. Got on all the armor. Yeah. Read the book and get right. Yeah. So we plead the blood of Jesus. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Let's Chop It Up podcast. I appreciate you for joining us once again. I don't know if we said it last time or the next episode. I really don't know how these dropping. But remember, you created with a purpose. God has something in mind for you. Don't underestimate what he's doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It might take some time, but he's doing it. Today, we blessed, bro. But let me give you some quick backstory how my boy got on the podcast, right? Not only is he deserving of the slot to be able to be on here, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we ain't nobody, but still. But not only is he somebody. I appreciate that. Thank you. But shout out to his management. You know what I'm saying? What's the name of your management? And then I'm gonna give y'all the backstory, and I'm gonna exaggerate it.
Preeminent management.
Yeah, shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? Who would you say leads that? You know what I'm saying?
Billy Jones.
Billy Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Like a Motown.
I know.
Leader.
You know what I'm saying?
Billy Jones.
The real deal, Billy Jones.
The real deal, Bill, my brother. That's who.
Hey, shout out to him, right? He a real one, bro. I met him whenever we went. I met him whenever I was doing some drone footage for Trey and whatnot, and we got to hang out all day for the most part. I mean, he was driving, you know what I'm saying? But cool cat. Yeah, basically, my boy had tracked me down a couple times. He's like, hey, you need King Koro on. King Koro. I'm like, yeah, you right, bro, because we heard about you. Von Juan mentioned you when he was on last year, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Billy for linking us up and setting it up, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Shout out to your management team. If you need some management, you know what I'm saying? Do they accept just anybody, though?
Preeminent, right?
Yeah, we accept the people of God.
Hey, that's what, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, so if you ain't plugged into the church, nah, plug. Nah, man.
Chill house church going on.
Hey. What's up? I'm already about to jump into the conversation.
Skip the intro,
yeah,
man.
my bad.
I feel awkward.
Yeah. Let's get into it the way we normally do. It's your brother Mo. Here with my boy Whiteout, and we got King Koro.
What it do?
King Koro. Koro, right?
Koro.
Koro. Because
Yes,
the first time
sir.
Mo was like, we should get King Koro on. And I thought Karo. I'm like, who's King Karo?
Man, I didn't heard it all. Cairo.
It's the way I speak, you know what I'm saying?
He's like King Karo.
King Koro. I would expect
There you
that.
go.
Roll the R's. Put some respect
on them.
Hey, bro, how did you even get that name? What does King Koro even mean?
So basically, I got that name from I studied. When I was homeless, I studied a whole lot of Miles Monroe on YouTube. He's deep on cultivating and subduing and having dominion on earth, not over people, but over your life and over your situation and over your circumstance. So I stand by King. It's not so much of a pro-black thing that's going on with the King slurs, but it's more so of kingdom citizen, ambassador. God gave me a role of a king on earth as a co-heir, not king of kings, but a king under the king of kings.
Man. Preach.
And so,
And
That's
Koro?
what's up, man.
and Koro,
Yeah, Koro.
put two and two together. My name Corey. It's just short.
Okay.
I ain't want to say King Corey. I want
Okay.
King Koro.
Yeah, and shout out to Miles Monroe. Rest in peace, right? He passed away in the
man.
airplane.
Yes.
And that boy is deep. Like, if you hear that boy's teachings, he was a great teacher.
Straight kingdom principles.
Yeah. So go check him out, for real.
Yeah.
Real quick, bro, because you said something, and to most people, they probably didn't necessarily pay attention to what you said. You spoke about being homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did this even happen? Like, first of all, you're 27 years old at the moment, right?
Right.
You know what? Before we even get to homelessness, can you give us a little bit of background story, like what your life was like growing up? Was your family in the church? Were they out the church? Did you not know about
Yeah,
Christ?
like, how did you get to the point of homelessness?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's most people don't experience that.
Right. So
And how does it happen? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So for me, it was more so my life situation. So I was where could we start? So when I was in middle school, my dad opened up a church, and so the church became the main focus a lot because it was growing ministry, and so they was having a church service every day in the house, like Monday through Friday. So you could imagine the attention that was caused for the ministry, with your dad being a pastor and your mom being first lady type deal.
Yeah.
And so church was engraved in me. I was a church drummer with my dad ever since elementary. I'll be that little kid on the drums with my dad on the organ, killing. And so that's always been in me. But the frustration came when I felt neglect in a sense, and I didn't truly, maturely understand at that young age why I didn't feel the attention I felt like everybody else was getting but me.
Yeah.
And so at that age, I would do what any 16-year-old, 13-year-old would do. He'll run to places that he could find some attention.
Yeah.
And so that's what I began to do. I got into the wrong crowds a lot of times. I got into some situations I knew I didn't have no business being in, being a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
And then it just got worse and worse, and I started living a double lifestyle. On Sunday, I'm pastor's son, And Monday through Friday, I'm your local drummer that sell weed.
Dang.
and so it was like that for a long time, and it got worse and worse. Situations got worse and worse to where I started hitting the fan, and my family found out. My attitude began to get worse in the home. My temper, my disrespect, talking back to mom, not respecting mom when she telling me to do stuff, having a little attitude at that age. Then got kicked out of my house because of it.
Where are you from? Houston,
Texas.
Okay.
And so I got kicked out of my house because of that, my disrespectful ways. And so I had to move in with my grandma. And so my grandma basically raised me from that age on, my grandma and my papa, but he died my senior year. And so you could just imagine that's your only authoritative figure leaving and with a young kid in his prime of acting up. I just took control. I just went crazy. My grandma, she was such a sweetheart, innocent woman. Loved my grandma to death. She didn't know how to handle a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old moving like I was moving. So she didn't slow nothing down. And I knew I was being rude, disrespectful, doing crazy things in her house. And she still loved me, still took care of me.
Shout out to grandmas, man.
Shout out to grandma. I got a song called Grandma Prayers coming soon as well.
I need that, man.
I got you, man. I got you. But then we got to the place where I got into some trouble with some people about some drugs. And then it got to my family because they joined the church taunting me. And then that got bad. And then after that, my grandma was getting threats to her house.
So they ended up joining the church just to sit in the pew so they could see you could see their face?
Just so they could see me and I could see them.
Oh, man.
Inside Out Worship Center back in the day. Bro,
no offense to these brothers, you know what I'm saying? But saying get behind them, they sound like demons, you know what I'm saying?
Straight up. It was like that. It's a true testimony behind that as well. Yeah. But back on track, they would come to my church and taunt me, and my dad was so friendly. Keep in mind, we're not no mega ministry. Yeah. This is a very family intimate type of ministry that was going on, and so everybody was welcome type deal. And then it was just scary for me at the moment because my dad would invite them over for Sunday dinner, and it was like, oh my God, like it was just getting out of hand, and they wouldn't do nothing. They would just be there intimidating, just like, you know, it's coming type.
Holding it over your head.
And so it got bad. Word got out about the threats that was said. They said, I'm gonna kill you and your grandma and whoever in that house is up. Basically, and then that's when I was like, Grandma, I gotta go. I can't live here no more. And so that's what led me to go homeless. And that was coming out of high school. That was a transition in my life that I personally made the choice to go homeless. I didn't want to live in my grandma's house with her.
Bring it right to her.
Yeah, man. Yeah. When and back at that time, that's when killing started becoming a norm. Yeah. And when somebody said that, it wasn't a joke no more. Yeah. That you took it kind of more serious.
So this was 2012, 2013.
2012, 2013. And so it got real scary my senior year in high school. Keep in mind, my granddad died that year. Yeah. And so it was already a lot going on. So I was like, I just think it's best if I get out this house now. Yeah. And she understood and I understood. And so what happened was I ended up calling my brother Jason. He was at the church with us. And then I went with him. And then he was homeless as well. But we was with each other all day because he would have girls that he was staying with, and they let him stay with her. So I would just kind of be that dude with him all the time. And so it was that kind of situation. But we would read our word together every day, all day. And we'd talk about God and how we want to stop doing what we're doing and live right. And so I stuck with him. Like, I was like, all right, let's ride. I don't care what your situation is. I can't go back anyway. Yeah. So we just thugged it out together. Slept in the car, slept in park sometime in Koro. Then one night came, we met his brother and his sister. And then they was homeless as well. And then they was sleeping in their car. So we all was just together from that point on. And then they was real in the prophetic stuff, saying, I think God telling me to go to Chicago. And so he's like, if it's for us to go, God gonna provide the gas, everything we need to go out there. Yeah. And then boom, next few months happened. Somebody gave us gas money to get out to Chicago. And so we drove out there, all six of us. We drove out there to Chicago. And here we are in, what was it, Ashland? No, it was 78 in Ashland. And then we go out there, that's outside Chicago. We drive out there. And then God sent us to that church, Apostle John Eckhart Church.
That's the guy that be writing books about casting out demons. And, okay, he has a lot of books. That book
a whole lot. And so we went out there, and then
I want to ask, because you were playing the drums, right? But as I know you now, I know you more for singing. Were you singing at this time? Like, is that like
not at all?
Okay,
singing wasn't even.
So it wasn't like I'm going out there to serve and worship. It was just like, wherever you call me type thing.
It was more of a, y'all my family. If y'all go, I'm going with you type deal. It ain't had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I knew what I was in. I ain't had nothing down there anyway, it felt like. So I was like, let's go.
And when you're homeless, bro, for people that don't really understand, like, we never been homeless, right? You were basically living in a car or sleeping in a park most of the nights.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And how would you find food? Like, what was that like?
That's my favorite part, because there's two sections to this part, man. It's favor and it's getting it how you live. And so the favor part was sometimes when I was homeless down there in Chicago, man, I was in my word. That 24 hours get real long on you when you homeless, man. Yeah. And you ain't really got nobody to talk to. Everybody judging you that walk by you. Everybody looking at you like you stinking, ain't good for nothing. Wow. That's how they act down there, especially in Chicago. And so that Bible and my 6-string guitar is all I had, bro. And so I was in that thing daily. And when I tell you, when I was reading that word, God would teach me principles on my situation. It was almost like these principles just coming to my life. And I'm like, whoa. I'm dealing with that right now. And this is how he got out of it, and this is what he did. So I went to that prayer, told the model prayer, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. I'm going to pause right there. On earth as it is in heaven. That means I ain't got to die and go to heaven to experience your goodness. I ain't got to be down here struggling and not experience the taste of your glory before I meet you, for real. Yeah. So I start messing with my mental, and I start praying like that according to the model prayer, but in my situation, putting my words in it. So I'm like, Lord, you said, give us this day our daily bread. So, God, I want Chili's. I ain't making this up, bro. I said, God, I want Chili's. I want that big smokehouse combo, and I want the dessert and the appetizer with it. Man. Tell me why a millionaire walked up to me in Schaumburg, Illinois, said, you hungry, man? I see you around here every day. I always used to post up at that Starbucks. You'll be surprised at the normal people that go to Starbucks every day, like ritualistically. Yeah. Like, seriously. And so he saw me every day. I wouldn't say nothing to him. He wouldn't say nothing to me. I wasn't never the homeless dude with a sign. Was never that kind of homeless dude at all. Like, but I was sitting out there one day in the benches outside the Starbucks, and he was like, you hungry, man? I noticed you here a lot. So wearing the same thing. It's kind of obvious you could use some help, basically. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm hungry. I said, you take me to Chili's? First thing I said, you can take me to Chili's? Yeah. He said, yeah, man. I said, I got 6 other people. Can you feed them too, please? He said, bring them. Come on. All y'all. Man, we went to Chili's. Everybody that was with us was able to eat appetizer. Whatever you wanted on the menu. Man. Dessert, drinks for the free. And so, and that happened right after I understood the principle of how to the model prayer. And so that after that, man, that's one way I ate food, to answer your question.
Man, I'm going to change my prayer style. I want some Chili's too, Lord.
Hey, so you prayed, you had faith, and you asked. You acted on that faith, you know? Right. You didn't just wait. The guy asked you, what do you want? You didn't be like, oh, nothing, God knows. Yeah. Like you spoke it out. Oh, I want Chili's.
You know what's
what
crazy?
I prayed for.
Is no fake humility going on.
A lot of people will see homeless people, and the first thought is like drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a misconception. You know what I'm saying? And then for some, it's like, oh, they must be battling some mental issues or whatnot. Right. They don't ever just think to themselves as like down on their luck situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Drugs was never the issue, right?
Nah, not with homelessness at all.
Okay.
Now I was smoking heavy, and I did had that drugs involved, but that wasn't the root of the homelessness at all. Okay. It wasn't no heroin, nothing crazy. It was just some marijuana, bro.
Like I said, it's just a misconception. Like, it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes we just think to ourselves, it's like, there's a reason, you know what I'm saying? And it's your fault. Right. And it's like, dang, things are hard for different people in different situations and different reasons, really.
Right. So that's one way I ate. Another way I ate, this is my favorite part of the story, bro. When we was sleeping outside of a hotel parking lot one time, we parked the truck, snow season. I would wait for somebody to hit that back door. As soon as somebody hit that back door, I'm to it. I'm all the way to it. Walking through the back. Then I go around to the breakfast, and I go get, like, all the food, bro. I'm talking about 6 plates of biscuits, walking back in. 6 plates of pancakes, walking back in. 6 plates of sausage, walking back in. It wasn't just for me, though. Yeah. We had a little dude with us. One of the dude's son was with us out there homeless. We had the dude with us, his sister, and his wife. And then her brother, like, it wasn't just me. Yeah. And so I went, like, I did that almost a month straight before getting caught. But even when we got caught, God kind of opened up favor for us to get a free room for a few weeks there at that same place we got caught. And so it was like, dang, the manager called us and like, man, if I would have known, I would have just helped y'all out. And he said, even if we have some dirty rooms where people don't stay, hey, if y'all don't mind, y'all can go in. And like, you gonna risk your job for us like that? That had to be nothing but God.
Man,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I experienced a lot of things like that too as well. And so we ate like that sometimes too. And sometimes some of these restaurants like Dunkin' Donuts, they throw away everything, bro.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
And being a regular civilian, you would never know that.
Yeah.
You feel me? But when you hungry, bro, you'll go ask some restaurants, hey, y'all got anything that y'all throw away? Like come to find out, Dunkin' got at a certain time, whatever ain't bought is in the trash. And so we constantly had all the Dunkin' Donuts, whatever we wanted. And the dude was super cool. So he let us get some large coffees in. So it wasn't, listen, I'm going to tell you this. It don't matter what season you in.
Yeah.
When you content, when you understand what's that Jireh, right, Maverick City?
Yeah.
When you content in every circumstance, God will show you peace that surpasses understanding. So
Man.
when you hear me being homeless, it wasn't a sob story in my life. It was one of the best seasons of my life ever. I got to pay for everything now.
Yeah.
You feel me? Rent, everything got to be paid for. I got to get out there and work for what it's a different season for me. Not that the favor on the plot still, but it's just different now. But when I was homeless, boy, I saw a different level of covering. I saw a different level of
to be relying on him.
The truth about the difference between religion and actual principle, and really being transformed. And it wasn't all sweet. It was times God told me about myself. He's like, you homeless still because you a victim. You got that victim spirit on you hard.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of that throughout homelessness. I had to really look at myself in the mirror sometimes and say, stop being a victim.
Yeah.
Don't nobody owe you nothing. Stop feeling entitled.
Yeah.
I had to really talk to myself about stuff like that. Wow. Holy Spirit, like when I say that relationship got tight, bro.
Yeah. Do you think that's dominant? Like, do you think a lot of homeless people have that mentality? Like kind of victim mentality, or?
I feel like everybody that's not living to their full potential does.
Okay. Yeah.
Not even homeless, because I know millionaires that's victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a victim to their circumstance and can't even enjoy their money.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I know homeless people that's victim that's going to stay homeless because they can't stop being a victim. I know people that's trying to thrive right now and trying to get to a certain place in life but not going to get there being a victim. Yeah. Stuck. So it ain't so much as homeless. I feel like that's just a state, a paradigm.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever stage you in.
Yeah.
At what point was the shift, let's say, the breaking of chains in that area? You know what I'm saying? Did that come along also with getting off the streets? I
say the shift came with that threat. If I didn't get that threat, I can't sit here and tell you I wouldn't be on the path I'm on right now. Yeah. Because life was not that bad. It was cool. I liked it. Yeah. And so I'm just not finna even lie to y'all. It's not something that should be glorified, and I don't encourage nobody to go do it at all. Yeah. But what I am saying, in that stage, I didn't have a problem with it. I was content with it. Yeah. And so I feel like that scare, when the death was on my side of it was me that time. Yeah. Not my partner, me. And my grandma, the woman that I love my grandma so much. Yeah. To know that I was putting her in that situation, it was game up. And I already know God already. I already knew I was walking in 2 double lifestyles knowingly, like fully aware of God and His greatness and His love and mercy. It was just another level of eyes being open. And fully aware of what I was doing wasn't pleasing to the sight of the Father, because I've always wanted to please Him in every season. But I was ignorant, like I said. And I had a double lifestyle. I felt like I thought it was okay. But I feel like God knew how to wake me up. Yeah. And He definitely did. Speak to us about getting off the streets. How'd you end up back in Houston? You know what I'm saying? Because you're in Chicago, it's like I'm thinking it's like the one thing I could think of is like you call home and you just like, you know what, I'm done being homeless and I need help getting back home. You know what I'm saying? Like how was it? What happened? Yeah. So when you were talking real quick, hold on, that reminded me of Moses, because you know Moses had everything, he was comfortable, and then he ended up losing everything, going in the wilderness. Kind of like you said, I liked it was good. And then it kind of reminded me of like the prodigal son. Yeah. The prodigal son left the kingdom of his father. And being a slave in his kingdom was better than this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So which kind of moment was it? Like, did you realize, man, my father's house, I got everything back in Houston. I need to get back there, start building, or I need to come back for the people? It wasn't none of that. Okay. It wasn't none of that. I'm going to be real. I'm off that. No, but what you saying was straight facts, though. Yeah. Everything you were saying. Yeah. But for me, it just wasn't none of that. For me, it was I never forget this day. The same people I went out there with and did not have to do that, but by choice did that. That became a tribe. Like kind of like felt like indie tribe. Like shout out to them. No, I was gonna say homeless tribe, but forgive me, Lord. Forgive me, Lord. A homeless coach. Homeless coaching. Oh my God! But for me, man, after a while, bro, we start going to different churches as we will walk. So Sunday we knew we wanted to go to some church. So we started going to these churches, bro, and they start calling me out, giving me prophetic words. Too much. Like, it started to get scary. We'll go to one church, prophetic word. Another church, prophetic word. But they wasn't prophesying about nobody else that I was with in the group.
Just you.
Just me.
Dang, yeah.
And so me, I'm like, God, I'm feeling love.
Hey, was it like Joseph?
Man, I'm feeling like, what? Hey.
Your brother's ready to throw you out to.
Right. It felt like that. So I'm like, hey, and I'm thinking, they gonna be happy because they giving me words about me being great in music and I'm homeless. Don't even know. I'm like, did you pick up on that because I had a guitar in my hand when I walked in? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, not even really getting too excited about these words because they not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me be careful because my group ain't even happy. Maybe it's not God. Because I'm fully submitted to what they on. Yeah. You feel me? Not what y'all on. Like, when I leave, it's us type deal. And so some of those words, I wouldn't even be getting excited. I'd be like, I just walk away and not receive it and just walk away. But it was just one word. And it was like, God finna remove you. He's finna elevate you, but I can't say that about everybody else that you're walking with. When that lady said that night, they all had a little meeting while I was sleeping at Starbucks. I wake up and they gone, and I come back outside and they all in the corner, and I'm like, "What's up? Y'all about to go?" Well, everybody got their stuff with them, and they tell me you can't come with us no more. They're like, we feel like you starting to think that you better. We starting to feel like you starting to feel yourself. You starting to think that you think God only. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Dang. Keep in mind, I'm telling these people, we ain't got to worry about them words. I'm coming back in the hotel saying, we ain't got to worry about them words. Like, we family.
And brushing off the prophecies.
And brushing off the prophecies, man. Brushing off the attention I was getting at these churches.
And they forgot you got them that Chili's.
Yeah, man. The Lord used me a lot with that group, man. I'm talking about. I won a drum competition at Guitar Center and got $100 at that drum competition, and that set us up. Yeah. Like, we ate good for a minute off that little gift card and met Eric Moore at that thing too. Eric Moore, I talked to him to this day. And so Eric Moore was there, and that's where I got to meet him and pray for him, a huge drummer right now. And so it's like, man, that's when all that started, like right then and there. So it was that's what the transition happened for me to come from Chicago homeless. And so after they literally left me, bro, I was scared. Keep in mind the snow season.
That's why I say, Joseph, bro, like, your brothers was like, why does my father have more favor on this man? You know what I'm saying?
It was getting crazy.
That's crazy because Chicago, right? And that's like gangland.
Gangland
on the south side. That's like
gangland, man.
That's like bad. Like, you can't be out at night.
No. They were leading the country.
You gotta play dead over there.
Around this time, they were leading the country in murder rate.
Yeah, they was. That's when the Cubs won. I was down there when the Cubs won the World Series.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw fireworks all over the sky. Like, and so that was around that time, and so we had to literally walk from 78 in Ashland to Arlington Heights, Illinois, on foot, bro.
How far is that?
That's, bro, some miles, bro.
Okay.
We had to stop and sleep in certain towns we ain't know nothing about. We don't know what they races. We don't know nothing.
Dang. So you did it like Jesus, like you going?
Yes,
on
bro.
Foot.
We was on foot.
You didn't even have a donkey.
No, we was walking on feeders of highways, bro. All of us. We got pulled over by the cop one time. They sent us some food. They sent us to go eat for free somewhere at New Illuminati's, pizza place in Chicago.
Illuminati's?
Illuminati pizza. That Illuminati juice sauce. Heck no.
Now, so they, for lack of better words, jealousy grew in the group against you because prophecies kept on coming your way. Man, God was trying to take you out of that situation.
I hate to even say it, but that's exactly what I feel like it was, because it's.
And no offense to them, you know what I'm
saying? No offense
like,
to them at all. Much love and respect to them, but it was kind of like, man, you really finna do this? Like, y'all know what I bring to the group. Y'all know I'm not out here making no selfish moves. Everything I get, I'm
and y'all were family, for the lack of better words.
Family, man.
It must have hurt on another level where it's just like, we just seen it from the outside perspective, you telling the story, but I can only imagine it's like y'all relying on one another while relying on God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
like
it's
the
like,
Church of Acts.
You're my brother, you my sister. Like, I love y'all. Like, I'm going to cut for y'all. Y'all cutting for me. And it's like, y'all build this relationship, and then for them just to turn.
Right.
And be like, oh,
is
you're
that
prideful.
common?
You think to yourself.
Yeah. Is that common amongst homeless people for you to have like cliques and little families?
I mean, I would say it was, because when we went to the shelter, we slept in the shelter one time and never again. When we went to the shelter for our first winter down there, keep in mind, this was 5 years long. This wasn't no 2 months, 3 months. This was 5 years consistent.
Yeah.
Homelessness.
Oh, wow.
Yes. In Chicago.
Time. Yeah.
So when we was went to the shelter, bro, you would see people walk in with their little groups. But then you also see like I'm talking extremely demonic, weird people. Like on another level, I mean, bro, I did not go to sleep not 1 second, bro. Bro, when I tell you I'm laying next to people and they talking about, you gonna die in the next 24 hours. I'm gonna kill you. Like whispering stuff like that right next to me, sleeping on the mat next to me. Man. And I'm like, bro, like this is another level, bro. Yeah. Somebody over there talking to their dead aunt and cousin and niece through some beads. Like it was like, oh my God. Like it was a lot going on, bro.
A lot of oppression.
Hey, anybody watching, if you talking to your loved ones that have passed, you need Jesus, man.
Cut it out, man. That's demonic. Let the dead bury the dead and walk away.
Yeah. Now, and I'm asking too because I've heard like when it comes to homelessness, there's a lot of like it's dangerous. Like women get raped all the time.
Oh yeah.
People can see you having stuff and they'll try to rob you because oh man, he has food stored up or he has this and that and it's worth money. We could sell it because you know drug addiction is in the streets too. You know. That's why I was asking. Is there like a lot of tribes of that common? So like whenever you minister to somebody, you're not thinking I'm ministering to an individual, but I gotta kind of either reach them and the people they're with, or kind of help them realize you don't need to be here with these people because God has a plan for you too. You know, bring them along, but if they don't come, you need to do something with yourself too.
Right, because everybody don't want to get out of it, bro.
Yeah, some people like it.
Some people are okay and real strong minded about it.
Do you think that was the situation with the people you were with?
I mean, no, we was all having faith for the abundance, for God showing up in a major way.
Yeah,
we was all believing that we gonna keep having faith, keep trusting God for Him to come put a miracle in our lap, which was on point back then. But I later found out it ain't gonna happen like that. You got to get out there and make something happen, and get to work, and not be sleeping, waking up thinking that your abundance just gonna pop up.
Yeah. So they end up saying, you know what, those you're full of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their perception of it.
No, they were saying it's prophet. Like we could see you thinking you about to start thinking you better. You're about to start. They were like, we're not finna have that. And I'm like, oh my God. And so that's when I walked to the IHOP, and the worker at IHOP, we was always sitting there at night, and he 24 hours, always sitting there talking to him. So I went over there asking for his phone. And so I went over there and asked for his phone, and I said, can I call my grandma? Call my grandma at that IHOP. And then I told my grandma the situation. She said, baby, I'm gonna get you a flight today.
Man, hold up.
2 days.
Shout out to grandma's again.
Shout out to Macy Boughton.
And how old were you at this time?
I was I would say about 20 something. Okay. My early 20s. Yeah. This was my early 20s. And so when I made that phone call, I told my grandma that phone call was like, Grandma, I want to come back. I'm a totally different man. Like when I say I ain't the same, Grandma, I'm not the same. And I really broke it down. So I said, Grandma, I'm sorry for having them women in your house, having sex with them. I said, Grandma, I'm sorry for smoking all upstairs in your house. I'm sorry for smoking out that whole room. I'm sorry for all the little weed bags you found. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for everything, Grandma.
Disrespect.
I'm sorry. Man, when I say I didn't just say that, I went down the list.
Yeah.
Like when I say I got thorough, I was very intentional about everything I did.
Yeah.
Amen. And stuff I ain't gonna even say on this podcast, I was apologizing for.
Yeah,
and so and
that's the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, my grandma, she flew me back that day, and then that day that I flew back, I went back to my grandma's house. The whole city of Houston went crazy, man. From when I played drums at their church, because my dad told them my situation. Everybody knew I was out there homeless in Chicago.
So there was people praying for you here.
Yeah, there's prayer work. So there's answered prayer.
Yeah, it was people praying for me definitely. Yeah, in Houston, and so when I came back, they were like, you still doing music? Because everybody knew I used to play with the pencil. But I ain't really take it serious on artist mode because I love the drums. I was getting paid to play drums. And so when I came back, I was like, man, I'm going to do this music thing to tell my story. Yeah. So first thing I did was start writing. I wrote a song called Homeless in Chi-Town. It got played on the radio. It got interviewed by Bishop Becca. When I first came down here out of homelessness, it was featuring that dude from Kurt Franklin Radio, Terrence Muse. He was one of my good friends. He featured on that song. So I paid... I paid a digital outlet and put it out, and then boom, here we are on this music tip, going hard as I could at the stage I was at in life.
Yeah, these are early 20s.
Early 20s, man. I'm talking about like 21, 22.
So leaving from your grandma's house to coming back, you were a saved man. Basically, you had you got serious with God. You took God serious.
You walked out your faith.
I was walking that thing. When I say new man, bro, new man, bold too. Like new man, like I've been doing it my whole life. New man. Like, I came back on fire, and I'm still on fire as you looking at me.
Come on, your hair's red, bro. Your hair's on fire.
I still got that thing popping for me, for the Lord in me, for real. And ain't nowhere in there dying.
So you're 27 right now. You spent about 5 years. You left around the age of 17. So let's say you're 22, maybe 23 by the time you came back.
Like I said, 21, 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
Early 20s. Like this, early 20s.
Yeah.
So I can't pinpoint the exact, because
Bring the flight paperwork out now.
I could definitely do that.
One thing I wanted to ask, man, because it's like, all right, now let's get in more to present day, because that's a crazy. To begin with, that alone is already crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come back to Houston, do you just like start serving in church again? Do you join the worship team at your family's church? Do you go to another church? What happened when you came back? Like,
I got out of my area. That's the first thing I did. And I came over here to the Katy area. And so that's when I moved over there by Highway 6.
Did you know somebody? Like, you came back, you got a job? Because you come back and you're back at your grandma. So for most people will be like, he's back where he started. He's homeless, but I mean, he's not homeless now, but he's back where he started. You know what I'm saying? How did you get on your feet?
So this is how I got on my feet. When I came back, I joined the ministry called Bound for Glory Ministries on Highway 6.
Bound for Glory.
Shout out to Pastor Mukes and Lady Tanika Mukes.
Shout out.
Prophetess Tanika Mukes. And so shout out to them. So I went over there and I met this dude named Kenneth James Ellis, one of my great friends to this day, one of my brothers. I was just fresh coming out of homelessness. It was like my first week out of homelessness, and they had this huge show over there. It was called Christ Crazy. And I had just performed the song at a park, and so I got invited by somebody that was at that show to come to that show and perform. So I like, bet I just don't got no ride because I'm fresh out of homelessness. Like, so they're like, I understand, I'll give you a ride. And so they gave me a ride over there to Bound for Glory. And so I go to Bound for Glory, and I see this dude named Kenneth, and he's the music director over there at the time. And they was getting ready doing sound checks, and so he asked me, you want to perform? I said, yeah. He said, you got some music out right now? I said, I just released it. It's everywhere. It's called Homeless in Shot-Town. Trying to promote myself. Going hard for no reason. And I'm like, it's called Homeless in Shot-Town, one of the greatest rising hits ever. You ready to hear it, man? Are you ready to hear it? Let's go. Just getting crunk from
wasn't even on stage. You just telling one person.
Right. Right. Like I'm auditioning. Like, you can change my life right here, right now.
Come on, Simon Cowell.
Right. And so he let me perform. I played it. And like, back when I was homeless in Shot-Town, Jesus did nothing but show out. I did early stages of writing. And so when I did that, man, he was like, bro, are you still homeless? I said, in a way, yeah. I was like, bro, I'm from Chicago, bro, and you had me in tears, bro, thinking about my hometown and how you could be homeless and making it out of that city. Wow. I'm like, man, he like, you need somewhere to stay. You can come live with me, man. He's like, I live off of Westheimer. He's like, you can come stay with me. I said, for sure. I said, say less. And I just jumped on it in faith, like pure faith. I said, Grandma, I was here but I got to go again. I said, you ain't got to worry about me starting no mess. I said, I'm finna get up out of this. And she said, all right, baby, be careful. Next thing you know, I'm living with Kenneth James Ellis every single day for about
real one.
That boy had faith too, you know, because he had just met you. It's just not like he knows your history or nothing.
And when I say he taught me how to sing, he was teaching me the ropes on how to sing, taught me how to use the studio. He was teaching me how to play the piano. Everything I'm doing right now, he kind of like sowed the first seed into that, man.
That's dope.
So yeah, I learned a lot living with him. I wrote like crazy. Half this music that y'all finna hear be released, it's been written homeless, bro. Been written when I was down, and now I'm just in a different place, different season, to where I can let the world hear something now.
So, were you at Von Juan's church? Were you leading worship at a certain point?
Yes, I was the worship leader there.
This was about a year ago, right?
Yeah, about a year ago.
How did you get there? Because, well, you know what? I'm jumping already, right? Because like I told you before we started, doing research for you was not easy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard to find stuff on you.
I bet it was.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, you will find little snippets where it's like, where's it at? You know what I'm saying? Like, 3 years ago, you opened up for D1, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, in my head, it's like, all right, so he must have music somewhere, or there must be something out there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even find that song that you're speaking about. I took
it all down because I did all of that wrong. Wasn't even getting really paid from that because I didn't do it right at all. And the featured artist didn't get a penny.
That's why you need management and all that.
Right. It's back
back then. Come on, the real deal, Bill. Come on.
But yeah, man, it's all on my Facebook though. You go back on my Facebook, see those pictures.
The last place we thought.
Yeah, I'm over here looking at YouTube. He looking at Spotify with Google and stuff, and it's like,
yeah, I got a bunch of stuff, and I archived a whole lot of that footage. I had footage of me homeless, like in Chicago, like Christmas homeless, y'all. Like,
yeah.
So like just embracing moments. But I archived it for content purposes and for media purposes. I archived all those files.
Then tell us how you get to meet Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Because you ended up being worship leader at his church. You know what I'm saying?
Man, so I was in transition looking for a church home, and so I heard a lot about Vaughn. I seen a lot about Vaughn. He was a rapper. I was a rapper. He does great music. I do great music. I felt like I was like, man, let me shoot my shot, man. Let me go visit. You know what I'm saying? So let me go see what's up. And then, I completely forgot. This is how the relationship started. Let me go back before that.
Go for it.
The relationship started like this. I was looking for a church home for sure, but I was doing my first album live recording at his church. And so I reached out to him for his venue. And so I said, hey, Vaughn, I'm finna have a live recording. Can I use your venue for that? He gave me the price. I said, bet. I was working at the time, so I had it. And I was like, here you go, boom. I rented out the venue, and so I'm like, dang, he a pastor too? I didn't really know he was a pastor, but when I rented out the venue, he said, Pastor Vaughn 1. So I'm like, bet. Using the venue, I'm doing sound check with my band, my background singers, everything sounding crispy. Vaughn, I just noticed Vaughn walking around looking and stuff. Yeah. And then
so you didn't know him as far as, for the lack of better words, not just in CHH, because he's done crossover albums in the way of bringing secular artists and doing what was the name of the CD?
Grace Still Abides.
Yeah, Grace Still Abides, which to me that's a classic. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't know him for his music.
Not that I didn't, because keep in mind I was homeless, bro.
Yeah.
And I was more into singing gospel, because that's what I played drums.
You weren't really on rap, and then Houston
really
based
on
rap.
the CHH like that.
Yeah.
I knew about it, but I wasn't on it.
Yeah, because he dropped it like 2013, 2014.
Right.
So it was in the midst of,
I knew he had respect because I used to see him when I was out there doing like prison ministry. And when I was out there doing like different stuff like that, I would always see him pop up or people mentioning his name type deal. So I reached out to him for his venue, got the venue. He was watching the live recording, just watching me the whole time.
People seen.
Yeah. And I was like, man, okay, cool. And so next thing you know, the live recording happened. He was thrilled. He was like, whoa, your music is like, I ain't never seen nobody believe in me like he did at that time. Yeah. And so he was like, man, we got to get you signed, man. We got to get you working. We got to get you. Yeah. Like, man, we got to work with you, man. Like, let's talk. So we had a meeting, and I was like, let's go, man. Everything was great. And I was like, let's go, let's do it. And so ended up signing the Grown and Saved.
And become the worship leader.
Yeah, and he was like, man, you got a voice on you, too. You was leading worship at that other church I saw. And like, man, looking for a church home? I was like, yes, I am. He's like, wow. He's like, you looking for a worship leader? I said, and I'm looking for a church home. Let's go. And then it was just magical, man. It just popped. It just working.
How long were you there?
I was there for about, how long was I there? I don't even remember. It wasn't that long. It wasn't years.
About a year or less?
About a year or less, or maybe a year or two. Or maybe a year less.
Shortly after him coming on the episode, he brought you up, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I need to have him on. He's up and coming, you know what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, I just see you kind of like, there was no King Koro at Fellowship Houston.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then Gone and Saved. Like, I was like, he was next up. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, not in a bad way, but it was just kind of like, can you give us a little insight to what happened? Or
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
Man. I'm a real person. I keep it real and authentic with everybody, people that's listening. And so I made some immature mistakes. I made some choices that were immature on my end. I'm not gonna speak on Vaughn's end because that's just not integral to me. Yeah. And so I'm just gonna speak on me. And so I felt like I was I feel like I could have handled some situations a whole lot better. There's a story in the Bible called the wheat and the tare. And so the story is applicable to what happened. And so if you can catch it, you catch it. And if not, you just don't get blessed.
This is the point where you pause it. Go read your Bible because you probably ain't read it. Now playing.
Right. Read your Bible or you ain't gonna know nothing I'm talking about.
And what's it like, bro? Like just for context, like signing like Grown and Saved is a record deal or it's a record company?
It was a record deal.
It was a record label. So it's like you sign a contract, it's like a 6-month contract, like a probation period, like stuff like that kind of
like
similar?
A 2-year, no probation. It was just 2-year contract.
Okay.
getting it on and popping with a plan.
Yeah, and then for like artists that don't know, a record label is supposed to help you like put out music, help you with like marketing, help you with like videos, like branding and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's like a whole package for an artist.
Right.
Okay, how long were you with Grown and Saved?
Same amount of time.
Same amount as at the church?
Because when I left the church, I left Grown and Saved as well at the same time.
Okay.
And so, but back to this story, this parable.
Yeah.
So there's a story in the Bible, and it's the wheat and the tare Bible. It's about the wheat and the tare. And so what happens is the farmer, he's going out sowing good seed in his field. I like that how the Bible said in his field, not a field that wasn't his. Yeah. He was out there sowing good seed in his field, the one that was for him to sow to. And so while he was sowing good seed, it says that while he was asleep, the enemy came and sowed tare amongst the wheat. And when the enemy came and sowed tare amongst the wheat, he had a choice to come out the next morning. It was like, man. He came out the next morning and was like, man, why is there wheat and tare in the same place that I sowed good seed? It should only be wheat, no tare. Yeah. So what's going on? The dude replies and says, while you were asleep, your enemy came and sowed tare amongst your wheat. Dude had a choice to make at that time. Am I going to get real upset right now and rip up everything? Or am I going to be mature and grow next to the tare? Because if I rip it up right now, I destroy all the promises that could have came with this. Yeah. But if I stay mature and I grow with it, during harvest time, God promises to separate the wheat and the tare. Yep. And so that's exactly what happened. A situation popped up, the enemy came, and I ripped up everything at once. Without no prayer, without no wisdom, without nothing. That's why it's also good to have a mentor and seek wise counsel. Yeah. So I ripped the situation up from the root, everything at one time, and I dipped because I've already been hurt, neglected, and I walked out of immaturity. You know what I'm saying? So I abandoned everything. And so when I really should have just grew next to what the enemy sowed.
I want to ask this question, right? And do you feel it was kind of like sometimes some people struggle with authority sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll say for me, for example, like me and male authority was always a hard thing because of my father, my real father, not my spiritual father, not God. You know what I'm saying? So me with authority, male authority it was a big thing that I had to kind of like, God, I need you to make it new. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how to submit to male authority. And not keyword submit, you know what I'm saying? But the idea of like, man, there is people that have been in this that could pour into me. Submit, and bro, sometimes, submit. Submit, you know what I'm saying? Because there's correction sometimes. Popular, and sometimes we don't want to receive it, especially from men, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And to that point on my end, like I said, I'm not going to speak on Vaughn, but I'm going to speak on my end. For me, Pastor Vaughn, let me be respectful. Yeah. So on my end,
Vahaligan Wadwin. Let's be real. Pastor Vahaligan Wadwin.
Right. But on my end.
Hey, forgive me if I said it wrong, though.
Everybody does. And so on my end, where I could have went better on, man, keep in mind I'm coming out of homelessness. I'm performing next to Zonti. Zonti's asking me to come sing during his set with him. So I'm on stage with Zonti going crazy. Man, everybody asking who this. Yeah, man. Everybody asking who this cat, who this King Koro. Like, it's coming, bro. People, attention. And I came out of homelessness. So it kind of started making me feel like people was hating. Like, you a hater. When that ain't the way to move when God blessing you. Yeah. It's not your job to find a hater when you being blessed. Man, that's a word it's your job to stay focused on the assignment and let a hater get blessed. Yeah. You feel me? And so that's how you got to learn to grow next to your haters, man. You don't, and not saying nobody was hating, but I'm just saying being immature, having that mindset to even think somebody hating on you. Yeah.
Sometimes some people focus on the hate. Like, it's like, bro, nobody was hating. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and sometimes we build an enemy in our minds.
Our paradigm. Yeah. Your paradigm can make an enemy that ain't an enemy.
Yeah. And so shadow boxing.
Yeah. And so, man, so it was a time where I got a little prideful, bro. I started eating that attention a little bit and started feeling that. And God checked me real quick on that note. So when you say that, man, submit to male authority, man, it was sometimes, man, I feel like I could have handled something humbly or humble around certain situations that popped up in our relationship. And so me being more humble could have helped out. Not that I'm not humble, man, but even the more humble in certain situations.
Christ-like humility. Die to yourself. Let another one be blessed. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, man, I got a question, bro. So now, talking about the whole like mentorship thing, now you're with DTS?
Yeah.
You're part of DTS?
Absolutely.
Are you in the Ambassadors Club?
No, I'm the President's Club.
You're in the,
correction.
Correction. So how do you see mentorship now, and how valuable do you see it in your life?
I feel like this, man. Mentorship is pivotal to where you want to go in life. Yeah. You can't get to certain heights without a mentorship.
Yeah.
You're just not. You just can't. And if you do, you're gonna lose it quick. And so it's always, even the Bible says, seek wise counsel.
Yeah.
You know, you're a fool if you don't seek wise counsel.
Yeah.
And so having mentorship is pivotal to growth. It's pivotal for sanity, for peace, to level up, to think differently, speak differently, act differently. You know what I'm saying? That's things that mentorship brings to the table to somebody that's thriving to be better.
Yeah.
Don't seek mentorship if you ain't thriving to be better. It's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why in Hebrews they say, don't make it hard for the person that has charge over your soul. Why? Because it ain't profitable for you.
Yeah.
They're going to be good. They're going to be straight, but it's just not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And so if you ain't ready for mentorship, I encourage you to humble yourself, man. And just
Why you looking at me, bro?
because you need to humble yourself. No, I'm just playing.
Male authority and me don't. Nah,
I'm just playing, but that
was
just
funny.
means humble yourself and get that mentorship.
Yeah.
It helps, man.
Amen.
And mentorship don't mean a daddy.
Yeah.
You feel me? You ain't my daddy because you my mentor.
Yeah.
You're my mentor, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure this piece of iron stays sharp
Yeah.
as he's growing. And I've been a sword all my life, but he's a little pocket knife right now. And I'm gonna get him to that sword mentality. That's what a mentor is.
Yeah.
You feel me? It helps you sharpen yourself, prepare, get you new equipment, equip you with things that you would not be equipped with.
Man.
And that you wouldn't be around nobody that's gonna equip you. That's what a mentor is.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of a mentor. So DTS definitely provides great mentorship. DTS definitely thrives on you being mentored and discipled in Christ.
Yeah.
You feel me? And
Quick
so-
plug in for DTS. No, I'll play.
plug in.
Yeah, for real, for real. That's what's up, man.
So, you end up leaving, going to saved, right? Where you
Yeah.
been?
Where I've been grinding. I'm just playing. I've been gracing. I've been doing a lot, man. So when I left Grown and Saved, I started really going hard, like with brainstorming and just planning and just getting prepared for what I knew God called me to do, whether I was going to be signed or not.
Because
And
I saw you doing a lot of the DTS outreaches. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, I'm not saying that you weren't serving before, you know what I'm saying? But it
Right.
was like a new, it was a different way of serving. It's like
was a
you
humble
going
way
out
of
to the
serving.
streets, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
A lot of times we get caught up in the building, you know what I'm saying? I don't know offense to anybody, but I think we need to be able to experience all forms of serving. Sometimes we get caught up in one form, be like, this is serving and this is the only serving I know. And it's like, yeah, but let's serve in other areas too. You know what I'm saying? There's many places to
that are
serve.
needed.
And one thing I want to bring up, right, random, right, but you're talking about how at Dunkin' Donuts they give you the food. You want to serve, go hit up Dunkin' Donuts at the end of the
Straight
day
up.
and tell them, hey, you throwing away any of these donuts? And go give them to the homeless real quick.
Go feed
Come
them,
on.
man.
Well, that's a conviction for me. But I'm diabetic, so I'm going to be careful, you know what I'm saying?
Tread lightly.
Flee from temptation. No, well, that's sexual temptation. It wasn't talking about sugars, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
they got that vegan kolache now, don't they? They got some vegan stuff.
You know, mess with
know
no
what I'm saying?
vegans.
Vegan.
Now I'm playing.
The sugar
Shout out to all
free
my vegans because I know some vegans. I don't want y'all to get offended.
No beef.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, no beef for vegans. nah, but going, my bad. I threw it completely off. Going back to what we were talking
I
about.
forgot.
Serving.
Yeah, you were serving in a different.
Yeah.
capacity.
So when I left, I started getting serious and planning like what my life would look like now.
Yeah.
Like what path am I gonna go? How am I gonna do it? So I reached out to Trey 9 personally because I had met him at a show that I had one time, and I kind of spoke to him. So I reached out to him after that. And I was like, hey Trey, I want some mentorship and I want to get better. You know what I'm saying? I went over there immature. I went over there butt hurt. You know what I'm saying? I went over there a little immature and childish. I was still hurting, but Trey opened his arms and he groomed me right where I was. Like he was there to get my mind, regroup my mind in that moment, in that season, to get back on the right track of thinking, how can I give back to the community and stop focusing on me and my situation? How can I go out to the less fortunate and be a blessing to people that was in a situation that I've been in before? So I started getting real serious. I was at every outreach he was going to. I was riding with him. He was my ride. We stay up the street from each other. So that was like God. Like it was so perfect.
Yeah.
So we just clicked and we just started connecting. He started bringing me to some shows, saying, hey, man, come perform Armageddon with me, man. So I just went out with him and did my thing. You know what I'm saying? All genuine. Nothing was, I didn't want nothing from music. I told Trey straight up.
It was just a season of growth.
Right. I said, I want to grow. I want to get better. I need to learn.
Yeah.
I ain't here for no mic. I ain't here for no opportunity. I ain't here for you to put me on. I ain't here for none of that. You ain't got to even tell nobody we cool.
Yeah.
Like, and so it was like that. And then God just favored it. And then it just blew up from there. got deeper and deeper and deeper into the program and deeper into the discipleship, deeper and went to the Ambassadors Club. Every single one, didn't miss a meeting on time, you know what I'm saying, doing it, really taking it serious. Then hitting to the President's Club. I've been to one of those so far, and I'm going to finish that out.
You gonna get that ring?
Get my ring. You know
what I'm saying?
Get my ring.
Championship ring.
You feel me?
So, let's speak about what's going on right now. When's the music dropping? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, bro, you a hard person to find stuff on. And I was like, the little bit I did find, I was like, it's fire. You know what I'm saying? And you just finished that track with Austin
Near Heaven.
Yeah.
Talk about that, bro. How did that happen?
Killed that.
Oh, that was so crazy how that happened. That's my boy. Shout out to my boy A-Train, man. So I was picking him up from the airport. He was coming from a mission trip.
El Gringo Loco. we were in Honduras. I went in Honduras with him, and then that was his name that stuck. So he'd be in the mall. He'll be like, "It's El Gringo Loco."
Bro, wait, hold up.
Just screaming out loud.
Hold up.
That's him.
It didn't stick until he just said it on the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Because nobody knew about it except people from Honduras, you know what I'm saying? But now everybody gonna know.
It was funny.
That's crazy. So
Shout out Austin.
Shout out to my bro, man. That's my brother. I picked him up from the airport when he was coming from the mission trip.
Okay.
And then I'm like, yo, we keep each other in tune with our music. So I'm like, yo, I got this joint, bro. I said, think about this, but on like a Chris Brown type of beat, right? And so I'll play it.
It's your girl
right,
on the floor.
I pull it up on the YouTube. I'm like, and I'm singing. I know life can get real high. I'm sorry. I know life can. And I'm just singing it to the YouTuber. He pauses it. If you know Austin, you know he bold.
Yeah.
He just paused it. He said, yo, you have to sing that on this, though.
Oh,
you have to do that on this, though. And then he plays Heaven instrumental. He said, here go the open verse. Here go the open verse. And I do mine. Because I know life can get real hard. I'm sorry. And then after that, he was like, oh, snap, I got my feature.
Oh,
like,
come
I
on.
guess you do. All right, let's go. And then we got to getting real deep. Man, like, man, this is such a God thing. I've been on pause with this song, asking God to send me my feature for this, asking God to fulfill the second verse if it's not a feature. And then here you come with your verse perfect in line. I'm like, yeah, bro, this is a God thing right here. And I'm saying, so you got to stand 10 toes down. I'm saying that in my verse before he even let me hear his, so you got to stand 10 toes down. And I'm like, bro, I'm saying 10 toes down just like that.
And he
he's
said
like,
it
you
too.
saying 10 toes down just like that.
Yeah.
Hey.
We wrote it on 2 different accounts. I showed him the time I wrote the note. I like, bro, I wrote this at 12 in the morning, bro. And showed him the note and everything. So it was like God. It was like a God moment.
Man, that's a God song, bro.
Yeah,
So
man,
hey, I need to go
it's a
check
God
it out. And y'all
moment.
ain't heard that Heaven by Austin Lanier with King Koro.
Yeah, man.
That's
Go
fire.
check that. Stream that.
So that's
And y'all got a
really
video dropping too, right?
Yes, we do got we did the video. We got a video dropping soon to it. It's gonna be dope.
so there is stuff coming. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And by the time this one releases, there should be another video that you're dropping, which I ain't gonna lie, I saw the snippets and I was like, man, hold up, bro. What is this? There's a witch in this video? Like,
Yes,
what's going on?
sir.
Like, she in front of a cauldron, and I'm like, there's spells. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Because it looked kind of, I'm going to say, like, most Christians would probably be like,
You got scared.
nah, I didn't get scared. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying all that. You know, I don't get scared of nothing but God.
Come on.
No, but most people, some Christians will be like, nah, that's not of God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They won't even give it a chance to
It's
breathe.
witchcraft.
You know what I'm saying? They won't give it a chance to breathe. But
Right.
explain it to us. You know what I'm saying? Give the people a little bit of understanding to it, so that way they don't tune out like the first 5 seconds of it.
Right. And so the
Hey,
video.
what's the name of the song?
So the song is called Armageddon, which is the fight between good and evil. And so the name tells it all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't do no more research what Armageddon means.
Yeah.
And so Armageddon is about me coming against witchcraft and me coming against demonic spells that's been put over the people of God life. Because people, we turn an ignorant ear to it sometime and we don't really take it serious. But what the people of God got to understand, what the citizens of the kingdom got to understand is witchcraft is real.
Yeah.
Hexes are real. And that stuff is effective if you ain't covered and if you ain't walking in obedience and stuff.
Come on.
And so that song is just letting you know that the Bible says, I suffer not a witch to live. In the other translation, it tell you, I suffer not a sorceress to live. And so what we have to take on is the mindset of a gangster in those moments. We have to take on a mindset of somebody that ain't scared of nothing.
Yeah.
We got to take on a mindset of, I will gun you down if I got to. In the spirit realm, no.
Yeah.
In the spirit realm, no, that's the important part.
Yeah.
Because that's what that video is going to explain. It's going to show you a dream that is being done, witchcraft over me, that's trying to shoot lust, addiction, poverty, different things trying to shoot at me. And it's a spiritual war. It's me and my prayer life.
Yeah.
It's me and my prayer life shooting against the demonic forces with an AK-47, because that's how we get when I'm in my prayer, when I'm going to war against this stuff, against my family, against other people's family, against the ones I love family. And so it's a depiction, it's a symbolic scene of a spiritual war life that you ain't gonna never see in the natural.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to put people in my prayer life with this video. So we shooting ARs. I got an AR in my hand. I'm all over the demonic territory. You feel me?
You got to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
there is a disclaimer in the beginning.
This ain't for you passive Christian. No,
there is a disclaimer
it's a war
in the
call.
beginning. So it's a war call, man. And it's for the people that understand that. And it's also going to trigger to the people of understanding how to keep that same hood in you. Keep that same mentality, but learn where the true battle is. I know I say a line in my song, no more curbside fights. We call to the battlefield. You can't be anointed and not get that warfare. Meaning you can't be called and have a high call on your life and not experience a witch trying to knock you down and not experience a warlock trying to throw you off your grind, sending sorcery, sending hexes your way, putting your pictures on their altars, burning up sage, burning up all this crap to send energy your way.
If you're doing this against Let's Chop It Up, we fighting now, blood.
Straight up. You don't want that shit.
Nah, man, hold up. Because while you were saying that, I started thinking, I'm like, that's why I don't post selfies. You know what I'm saying? Nah,
Yeah, man. Like it gets crazy with that stuff. And so it's just bringing a light to it and letting people know how to deal with it. You don't deal with it naturally, but what you can do is you can load up that prayer clip and spray it down one time.
Amen.
So by the time we release this episode, the video should be out. It
should be out the same day.
The song's already out.
Song's already out right now.
So go stream that.
Platforms.
Go stream that.
Go stream that.
But on YouTube, go watch this video. We won't make sure we drop the link.
March 1st.
Put the link in the bio on this video. I was gonna tell you, man, that's crazy because a lot of people don't talk about that. I don't think I've ever heard a CHH artist say, I'm making a song against witchcraft. But it's so prevalent, bro. Like I used to know the Satanist that he was telling me that he was telling me that he couldn't put a curse on me. Right. You know? And I'm like, and the moment I didn't catch it, like, you're trying to put a curse on me, but he was all like, there's something about you and your homeboy Robbo.
The boy said I tried.
And that's real, you know what I'm saying? I was reading a book that there's a group of witches in cities that they go to churches and they put curses that pastors will fall into sexual temptation. Yeah. So if you ain't prayed up,
what's the name of that one pastor?
Jonathan Ramirez.
Yeah. Shout out to him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's big on that too.
Yeah. I researched
and Pastor John Eckhart, which you went to his church for a minute.
Yeah, he got a big book on it.
Yeah.
Like, so Tony Evans got a good book coming against spiritual warfare. All of this is the books I've read. Yeah. Like from beginning to the end before Armageddon was even written. Yeah. So it ain't coming from a carnal place. It ain't coming from a mentality, I'm a street dude, I'm a thug. No, so I'm a thug about that Christ, and I'm a thug against some witchcraft and some demonic forces.
True hero under God.
Right. Shout out Zero. And one thing I wanted to say, man, because the scripture is very clear. Jesus tells, man, tell them account the cost. You know what I'm saying? Before you start this walk of faith with me. Right. With him, really, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes in church, we don't tell people the whole truth. It's like, pray this prayer and you'll be in heaven the next time you close your eyes. And it's like, good introduction. But very few times we tell people, it's like, bro, it gets real. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we tell them it's like, it's not easy, but we make it sound like it's not easy in the way, like, yeah, we all suffer difficult shifts and hardships and whatnot. But we don't tell them it's like, there's real spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we set people over failure by not giving them the realness of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And see, that's the thing, because sometimes you could have an undercover witch and it be your best friend.
Man.
It could be your mama. It could be your daddy. Man. Your parents that done dibble-dabbled in it. And you not even never know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something to take lightly, but it ain't something we giving power to. We walking in fear with. And that's for sure. Yeah. Because they don't got no power at the end of the day. But what they do, what the Bible tell us, don't be ignorant of Satan's schemes and devices. Come on. And so that's what this song is about, man. So if you going to be offended by that, that might not be the video for you to watch, because you're going to see me blow a witch head off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see it happen.
Now I want to watch
PG-13, rated R for...
Got a disclaimer.
Rated R for resurrection.
It's for sure a disclaimer on that thing.
Man.
You finna see some people dressed up like, not dressed up, but you finna see some people pop up. I'll tell you one is named Lust. And he the first person I knocked down. Oh, wow. You feel me? And I'll just leave y'all with that. Hey. So
go check out the video.
It's coming soon.
You know what I'm saying? Tap in.
Man, shout out to my brother Billy Jones once again, man. That video would not have been possible without my brother Billy Jones and Dynasty Pools, man.
Amen.
That's what's up, man.
Straight up.
Hey, shout out to Dynasty Pools. You know what I'm saying? If you need your pool redone, you know what I'm saying? You need a pool period.
You need to get your pool clean. Get that pool clean.
Oh, clean. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm over here trying to open you doors for you, bro. Nah,
get that power wash done by your boy. You gonna see me personally.
Hey man, praise God, bro. Like I'm looking forward to not just this track, but what you got coming forward. You know what I'm saying? Because if you speaking this much facts and you exposing the enemy like this, you know what I'm saying? I'll say this for you real ones out there, keep this brother prayed up, because a lot of times it's easy to keep his service level with the raps, you know what I'm saying? But to really go in and like expose the enemy, like on this level, very few you see, you know what I'm saying? So we'll keep you prayed and real ones keep him prayed up. You know what I'm saying?
And I love you, bro, and I appreciate you for that, bro, because sometimes, you know, you jam a lot of CHH, you don't hear a lot of the word in it. I love the fact that you're here just spitting the word, and you talk about spiritual warfare, going to that prayer closet, you know what I'm saying, coming against the schemes of the enemy, with your AK, which is the word of God, you know what I'm saying, praying the word. Amen. So thank you for that, bro, keeping that alive in CHH.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we can plug in, bro? Because, I mean, we appreciate you for your time.
Man, let me shout out my mama, Linda.
Hey,
let me shout out my sister.
Miss Linda.
Let me shout out my sister, Kayla Darnell Wynn. Let me shout out my baby, my niece and my nephew, you feel me, Kaylin and Camden. Let me shout out my brother, Cameron Wynn. Let me shout out Born One. Let me shout out Billy Jones and Paula Waller.
You know what I'm saying?
Alec Abram. Abram is a guitar player on a track coming out called So Glad featuring Carry On the Light. It's going to be crazy. We got a lot going on, man. It's up this season, man. It's up. Man, shout out to my wife, Anquinette Singel Wynn. I love you, baby.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
I'll be all up.
Hey, my boy found his real.
Yes, sir. And shout out to my baby boy, Corey Wynn Jr.
Amen, bro. So where can they find you at as far as social medias?
Man, you can find me King Koro on everywhere. Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere.
And
King
the music's
Koro.
coming.
Music out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, video out today.
Okay, you right. I'm forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
But music out today. Or video out today.
Armageddon dropped February 1st.
You know what I'm saying?
And then we got music video dropping today. You feel me? We got that Armageddon music video dropping today. It's going to be a movie. It's a good little 5-minute video. Y'all going to be intrigued the whole time, I promise.
That's what I'm talking about. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. You a real one. Like I said at the beginning, God created you with a purpose. I'm over here slipping up on my own words. God created you with a purpose, man. You heard this brother's story. You see what God done did. Imagine what he could do for you too. Amen. And God bless. Deuce.
Amen.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Got on all the armor. Read the book and get right.